Hey guys, welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and I am currently on a health, wellness, fitness journey, if you want to call it. And on these particular videos each week, I go through how my last week went, whether there was anything negative, what was positive. I talk about any weight loss or weight gain that I might have had, although we're going to talk about maintenance here as well. But yeah, so if you want to hear how week 25 went on my journey, then stick around. All right, so as I mentioned, I just finished week 25. Hardly able to believe that. For those of you who are new to my channel, I do take compounded tirzepatide. I currently take 5 milligrams. That's the highest dose that I ever went up to during my entire journey. I never went any higher than that. I stuck on 2.5 for longer than a month for a little while, and then I did a little kind of a transition dose and then moved to the 5 milligrams. But we'll talk about all that in my 6-month review. But yes, so I take compounded tirzepatide. Like I said, I take 5 milligrams. I get my compounded medication from the telehealth company Join Fridays. And I absolutely love them. As you guys know, I'm an advocate for them. So if you are interested in compounded medication or brand name, in fact, let me talk about that for a second, because I had somebody in my comments, I think it was on my last week check-in video, and the individual was saying that she has some health things going on, and if I remember correctly, maybe disabled, I can't remember. There were several comments that she left on the same video. But what she mentioned is that her physician, so I assume her own personal private physician, was unwilling to write a PA for her to try to get on the medication, because according to her doctor, they weren't going to approve it. So they just didn't want to go through the exercise. And my first response was, have you thought about going through a telehealth company? Because while there are not many out there that do actually still deal with insurance companies and write PAs and help you with appeals if the PA is rejected, etc., there are, I think, maybe a couple, Join Fridays being one of them. A lot of the telehealth companies kind of got out of that space because, it does require a specialized team. It requires, them having obviously more staff, et cetera, to handle that workload. And it's not easy. And I understand why maybe the doctor was reluctant, but this is the doctor's patient, and it seems to me that they have an obligation to try to help their patient as best they can. That to me sort of sounds like the Hippocratic Oath, but whatever, we won't get into that. But my point was, I said to the subscriber, have you thought about going the telehealth route? Because, for example, Join Fridays has a whole dedicated team that's what they help people with. So if you want to be on brand name medication and you need assistance trying to get your medication covered by your health insurance, Join Fridays can do that. And if either you don't have coverage at all, or something happens and you get denied and maybe your subsequent appeals get denied, then you can go the compounded route. Or maybe you just also want to go the compounded route because it's less expensive. For those of you who missed a video that I did probably about 2 weeks ago now, Join Fridays or Fridays Health changed their whole fee structure. So there used to be a membership fee every month, and then you had your additional cost for your medication. And the membership fee went towards all sorts of different things that they have, right? It helps pay for that insurance concierge service, right, that I was just talking about, to help you with your PAs and appeals, etc. It goes towards the nutritionists who do nutritional counseling. It goes towards the therapists that do the mental health coaching. It goes towards the person who does the movement classes, that kind of thing. But they changed it, and so they are doing it basically, as I like to call it, kind of an all-you-can-eat. That's probably not the best analogy when you're talking about a weight loss medication, but you know what I mean, right? So it's basically you get everything for one price. And for the first 3 months, if you use my code Lisa, you will get $20 off every month of your subscription, I guess, maybe if we want to call it that, because it's not a membership. And that is absolutely fantastic. And you will get the best pricing on all doses of semaglutide and all doses of tirzepatide. So not only did they take out the membership fee, but they also made all doses the exact same price. So whether or not you're on tirzepatide 2.5 or 15 milligrams, everybody pays the same. So highly recommend you check it out if it's something that you're interested in, or like I said, if you are like this subscriber whose own physician was not willing to help them. And I think a lot of people find that, right? Because a lot of these physicians either, one, don't have the staff to handle these kind of PAs that need to be written and the appeals that inevitably come out of those PA requests. And insurance companies are changing their policies and procedures, it seems like weekly now. And so I get it. It's a burden for them. And so they just don't want to bother with it. And then at you as a patient, where are you left? You know, you have this physician that you have a relationship with, but they're not willing to help you. So I would highly recommend checking out Join Fridays, like I said, even if you are only interested in compound, but if you are interested in name brand medication, they can do both, which again is something that sets them apart from a lot of other telehealth companies. So I don't know why I got on that bandwagon. I guess it's just because I was telling you where I get my compounded tirzepatide from, and then I went into that sort of off topic. So anyway, let's get into now how my week went. All right, so for week 25, I again took 5 milligrams. I did the injection in my left stomach, so the left side of my stomach, I guess I should say. And last week, I ended up being down 0.2 pounds. So that means I'm down a total of 52.2 pounds. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was totally fine with that 0.2 loss. In fact, I was really pretty much even for the whole week. I actually think that I was up like 0.4 pounds at one point, but pretty much kind of just stagnant. And honestly, that's okay, because I think I have actually come to the point now where I'm okay being in maintenance, which is something else that I'm going to talk about, because again, I had another comment on a previous video that was talking about kind of the fear of maintenance and what that all means. But yeah, like I said, I think that I am now at a place where I am ready to just hang out where I am. In fact, I even changed in my Renfo scale app. It said something about like set a goal or something. And so I clicked on that because, like I said, I'm not really wanting to be in a weight loss phase anymore. And so I clicked on it. It gives you the option. Do you want to maintain weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to lose weight? And I clicked maintain. And then it gives you a range of, you can set your range. It basically starts with a range of whatever a healthy weight, let's take that obviously with a grain of salt, but a healthy weight for you. I assume it's based on your age and based on your height and your sex, obviously. And so I adjusted it, and I basically gave myself a 5-pound window around the number that I'm at right now. Like I said, I feel like it's a very comfortable number for me. I feel good at this weight. I feel like it's a weight that I can maintain. It's not so low that the clothes that I bought recently will, now not fit me anymore. And it's, like I said, it's a weight that I am comfortable with. And I think, like I said, 2.5 pounds below and 2.5 pounds above are, I think, a good range to be in. So that is what I set. And like I said, I'm super comfortable with it. So I am going to continue on the 5 milligram dose. That is my plan. And if I continue to, you know, maybe gain a little, or like I said, lose maybe 0.2 pounds or something like that, as long as I'm not dropping significant, and for me, like over a pound in a week to me would be significant because I really don't want to lose any more weight. I think then we'll stick with the 5 milligrams. I think that is going to end up being my sweet spot for maintenance. It takes the food noise away from me. It dulls my hunger. I will say that I have been getting a little hungry the last week or so, and we're going to talk about kind of what happened this week and what I ate and those kind of things. But I feel like, especially for the food noise, which for me was my biggest thing I didn't like when I was on 2.5, and the whole just like feeling like I wanted to snack and things like that. Like I said, so long as I feel like my weight is pretty stable on the 5 milligrams, then I think that's where I plan to stay. I may end up, you know, when I talk with my provider, I may end up talking about maybe stretching out those doses, maybe every 10 days or every 14 days, something like that. That's going to be a trial and error. I mean, let's be honest, guys, maintenance in and of itself is trial and error because everybody's different. It's not a one size fits all. What works for one person is probably not going to work for another person. So you just kind of have to find what works for you. And so it's going to be a lot of experimentation and trial and error and sort of seeing if I'm going to extend that time between which I take my shots, that, you know, that food noise or a lot of hunger creeps back into how I'm feeling. So we'll see. But yeah, so far, like I said, I was happy with how this week went. And what else do I want to tell you? I definitely did increase my calories. Now, like I said, my son is here visiting. And so that did mean that we went out to eat quite a few times. So he came last Saturday. So he's been here for pretty much the whole week that we've just gone through, week 25. And so we definitely ate out quite a few times. You know, we've even been out, like he and I just went to lunch today, for example. And so that kind of played into it. I do want to make a correction, by the way, and one of you very kindly reached out to me on Instagram and DM'd me. Last week when I was talking about the calories that my app said, that was based on my basal metabolic rate, not my TDEE. So when I did the TDEE calculator, that number for my height, my weight, my age, whatever, it's just around 1,600 calories. So that's what I changed actually my app to, because like I said, my Lose It app had it at like 14 something. So I went in manually and changed it to what the TDEE calculator said. So that is my new caloric goal, and I was very close to that actually on a couple days. Now there were a couple of other days which weren't maybe so great, but I definitely had quite a few days that were over or around the 1,400 calorie range. So I definitely feel like I'm doing a good job of increasing my calorie intake, and you know, hopefully I will then be up to and being able to take in mostly around that 1,600 calorie range. So I just wanted to clear that up because I did misspeak last week, and I wanted to let you know how it's changed. So let's talk about a couple of NSVs. You know, NSVs to me, sometimes I don't realize I have them until like just something happens, or maybe even I see somebody else talk about it and I was like, oh, you know what, I have that same thing. So one of these is kind of one of those, and then one was something that I have noticed for a little while now. I guess haven't talked about it. So the one that I saw somebody post about that then made me realize the same thing was when you get out of the shower and you wrap your towel around you, you know, I always had a tiny bit of overlap, and we had some, you know, we don't have cheap towels. It's not like, you know, the ones you get at a hotel that like barely like even come together. You look at those towels and you're like, is this for a 3-year-old? Because clearly that's not going around any adult's body. You know, we have like bath sheets, right? That they're, you know, they're an oversized bath towel and whatever. So I was always able to wrap them, but now it's like, you know, I put the one half like, you know, kind of ends here and the other one is like way over here and tucked under. So that's kind of fun, like I said, and I hadn't really thought about it because it's something that you do every day, right? You take a shower every day, and so you're getting out and toweling off. And so it's not like something that is super noticeable from like one day and then all of a sudden the next day you can do it, right? Does that make sense? Like it's sort of like, I think when people who are in your life who see you every day, who don't necessarily notice your weight loss, it's because they see you every day and you're not changing every day, versus when you don't see somebody for a couple months and now you've changed very dramatically in their eyes because they haven't seen you for a few months. That's how I feel about that towel thing. Like I said, is you do it every day, and then, like I said, just all of a sudden after seeing this one person, I was like, oh yeah. And then I paid attention to my towel and how far it wrapped, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's incredible. The second one actually is very exciting. And if you, well, I was going to say if you're a female, but I'm sure it applies to males too, except that generally, obviously not all, but generally men don't wear skirts or dresses. And what I'm talking about is chub rub. You know, when those thighs are just rubbing away. And I was never one of those people who like use the deodorant, or I think now they have like specific products that you can rub on the inside of your thighs to help with the whole chub rub situation. Generally, the way I dealt with it was either one, I never wore a pair of shorts that were short enough that I could get chub rub, or two, if I was wearing a skirt or a dress, I wore like a pair of, you know, kind of like bike shorts, but not bike shorts either. And not necessarily shapewear either. They're just like those long line, I don't even know what they're called, but basically anti-chub rub shorts, if you want to call them that. I'm sure they have an official name. I just can't think of it right now. So I would wear those if I was wearing, like I said, a dress or a skirt, so that I didn't experience that. And I really noticed it the other day because I had on a dress, and it didn't even occur to me to actually put on one of those like bike short things. And I was out and it was hot and it was, you know, I was kind of sweaty and whatever. And my thighs don't touch when I walk. And that is incredible. And like sometimes, especially if I'm in leggings, which obviously then you can really notice kind of the thigh gap thing, because it's especially black leggings, so you can really see like the light between it, or when you're walking. And I've really been realizing lately, as I've been wearing things and looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow, my thighs don't touch anymore. And that, like I said, it may occur with some males. I certainly, I'm not saying that it can't, but I pretty much can bet that any woman who has experienced being, you know, in a heavier body can relate to chub rub and how horrible it is to deal with and uncomfortable. And so to not have that was just a huge win. So that is it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned some things. I hope some of this discussion about, you know, if you are having troubles with your own physician helping you with your medication, that maybe you take that as a sign or as an opportunity to look at some telehealth companies. Again, if you want to save $20 on your first 3 months with Fridays, use the code Lisa, and there's always a link in my bio. So you can just click that, and then it should, I think, when you click that link, automatically apply Lisa to your cart or whatever, and so you should be fine. But if for some reason you don't use the link and you just go to Join Fridays, when you get to the end and it asks if you have like a coupon or a discount code or whatever, just put in Lisa, L-A-S-A, and that will, like I said, save you $20 for the first 3 months, which is amazing. But yeah, like I said, lots of things kind of to chat about and what some of you are dealing with, which is, I think, really important. It's one of the reasons that I started this channel, was so that not only did I have the opportunity to share my journey, but also to help you all. So if you have anything going on that you would like my feedback on, or, you know, just get some big sister help or whatever it is, please leave those in the comments below, because I really do enjoy interacting with you all and helping wherever I can. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical practitioner, so I cannot give medical advice, but I can certainly tell you what my experience has been, and maybe that will help with whatever you're going through. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. It does help push my content out to other people who also may enjoy it. And if you like this kind of content, I would love to see you back here. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload videos. If you haven't had enough of me yet, there'll be another video over here in the corner that you can watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.